day class, so let us now discuss Module 4, Soil Resources and Human Activity in the Environment. So at the end of this module, we can identify human activities such as farming, construction of structures, and waste disposal that affect the quantity and quality of soil. Describe how people generate the different types of waste, solid, liquid, and gaseous, as they make use of various materials and resources in everyday life. Explain how different types of waste affects people's health and the environment. Soil resources. Soil is the thin top layer of Earth's crust. Note that land refers to the part of earth that is not water, while soils are part of land that consists of minerals, organic material, organisms, water, and air. The most important use of soil is for crop production. If the soils are fertile or suitable for crop cultivation, it is considered arable. A land is arable if crops can be cultivated in it. Arable land refers also to those that has the potential to be cultivated, such as land whose soil and climate are suitable for agriculture. Arable lands have sufficient fresh water for irrigation, enough minerals in the soil, suitable temperature, and right amount of salts and moisture. Soil is considered as a top thin layer of Earth's because it is made up of many things, such as, for example, weathered rock and decayed plant and animal matters. The surface rocks break down into smaller pieces through a process of weathering and is then mixed with moss and organic matter. Over time, this creates a thin layer of soil. So a topsoil is considered a layers of a soil composed of organic matter and minerals. This layer is the primary layer where plants and organisms live. The significance and importance of crop production in agriculture, it provides the food and feed the grain, oil, and fiber for domestic consumption, and are a major component of Philippine export trade. Horticultural plants, those are related to specifically for human use, that is, offer a variety to human diets and enhance the living environment. In our figure, the images of farming in the Philippines. Filipino farmers in the Philippines and machines on Philippine farms. The distribution of arable land. The distribution of arable land in the world is uneven. In fact, arable land is only present in some countries and is not even present in some countries. In the Philippines, only 41% of total land area is suited for agriculture, of which 18.2% is arable, 17.8% is dedicated to permanent crops, and permanent pasture takes the remaining 5%. According to the World Bank, the percentage of arable land in the world was measured at 10.77% in year 2011, as defined by Food and Agricultural Organization. Arable land includes land under temporary crops, temporary meadows for mowing or pasture, land under market or kitchen gardens, and land temporary fallow, land that was abandoned as a result of shifting cultivation is not included. Arable land is land that can be used for the sole purpose of growing crops. The more fertile the soil is, the more arable it is. The fertility of soil is dependent on the amount of organic matter or humus there is within it. So, arable land scarcity is the main reason why the distribution of arable land is uneven. Arable land scarcity is a result of a range of human and climatic factors, including population growth, climatic change, land degradation, deforestation, desertification, irrigation, and unequal land distribution. The Philippines' major agricultural products include rice, coconuts, corn, sugarcane, bananas, pineapples, and mangoes, and etc. The Food and Agricultural Organization is a specialized agency of the UN or United Nations that leads international efforts to defeat hunger. The goal is to achieve food security for all and make sure that people have regular access to enough high quality food to lead an active, healthy living. Human practices and technology. The latest technological advancements have made significant contribution to let people live in comfort and even in luxury, making people more dependent on technology. As men continue to consume products and enjoy services where technology is applied, more of the environment's natural resources being affected. So, how can we prevent in the environment's natural resources being affected? So, we need the resources to support agricultural growth, and that can only come from a healthy planet. We are discovering new ways to use technology in a right way to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and manage resource consumption in a way that is good for economy, good for communities, and good for the environment. Technology is also being harnessed to help prevent food waste, working to keep food out of landfills by keeping better track of it at all levels, from the farm to the table. With up to a third of the world's food resources thrown out, data collection technology has the potential to greatly reduce that figure. Since man is part of the environment and thus contributory to the cycles and systems of life, an inequitable consumption or significant alteration of one natural resource will definitely affect Earth's entire system. So, what are the common technology processes that man has invented and has been using to meet the demands of developing world? How much can Earth support man's activities for the sake of maintaining a reasonable standard of living? So humans impact the physical environment in many ways, just like overpopulation, pollution, burning of fossil fuels, and deforestation. Changes like this have triggered climate change, soil erosion, poor air quality, and undrinkable water. So we need to protect our environment. In a healthy ecosystem, clean our water, purify our air, maintain our soil, regulate climate, recycle nutrients, and provide us with food. So we provide raw materials and resources for also for medicines and other purposes. Soil conservation practices. In soil conservation is usually practiced in farming where soil stress may happen and faulty farming systems are utilized. Whenever soil is lost by any of these exogenous processes of Earth, the topsoil, which is the most productive layer, loses its fertility. To minimize the loss of topsoil, Even outside the context of agriculture, the following may be applied. So, this explains that exogenous factors include weathering processes that causes wind erosion and accumulation. So it leads to soil erosion and siltation on buildings and roads and also for crop productions, including our agricultural resources. It also causes water surface and subsurface erosion and accumulation. Therefore, it can basically affect the soil fertility. So, to minimize the loss of topsoil, even outside the context of agriculture, the following may be applied. The first one we have enhancing organic matter content of soil. So, for organic matter consists of crops residues, manure or compost. The organic matter improves water and nutrient, holding capacity of soil and protects the soil against erosion and compaction. So, in addition to this, the importance of enhancing organic matter includes any plant or animal material that returns to the soil and goes through the decomposition process, in addition to providing nutrients and habitat to organisms living in the soil. Organic matter also binds soil particles into aggregates and improves the water holding capacity of the soil. So therefore, it can prevent erosion and soil compaction. Next, we have the avoiding excessive tillage. Tilling helps in loosening surface soil, but too much of it can break up soil structure and speed up decomposition and loss of organic matter. So in addition, tillage is used to loosen surface soil, prepare the seedbed, and control weeds and pests. Next, we have applying proper pest management. Pesticides have been proven to affect non-target organisms and pollute the soil and water systems. Where pesticides are deemed necessary, make sure to follow use instructions. So in addition, pesticides are used to control various pests and disease carriers such as mosquitoes, rats, mice, snails, and other types of pests. Pesticides are used in agriculture to control weeds, insect infestation, and diseases. Herbicides is an example to kill or inhibit the growth of unwanted plants, also known as weeds. Many farmers choose to use chemicals to keep weeds and pests from destroying their crops and to add more nutrients to the soil. There are three different kinds of pesticides: the herbicides, insecticides, and fungicides. All three of these pesticides are used to kill different kinds of pests that can be found in a farm. Prevent soil compaction. Soil compaction occurs when soil particles are pressed together and there is reduced pore spaces between soil particles. So why is compaction of soils important? Compaction increases the shear strength of the soil through that is important if the soil is being used to retain water in agricultural use. Compaction can prevent the buildup of large water pressures that can cause soil to liquefy during earthquakes. Maintain a ground cover. Bare soils are susceptible to wind and other agents of erosion, so it is best to cover open soils with dried leaves or crops. In addition, covering crops are useful for protecting the soil when it does not have a crop, providing an additional source of organic matter to improve soil structure. In all operation of human civilization, waste production usually occurs in different forms, but not guaranteed at proper disposal. The increase in population results in larger volumes of waste. And since not all waste break down, some of it remains within the ecosystem we live in. The following are different forms of waste material. So the first one we have the solid waste. These are generally made up of objects or particles that accumulate on the site, as opposed to water and air waste, which disperse. So, proper waste disposal of this solid waste is critical due to the fact that certain types of waste can be hazardous and can contaminate the environment if not handled properly. So, this type of waste also have the potential to cause disease or get into water supplies. One of the bigger reasons to reduce waste is conserve space in our landfills and reduce the need to build more landfills which take up valuable space and are a source of air and water pollution. By reducing our solid waste, we are also conserving our resources. So whether it is domestic, commercial, or industrial setting in solid waste, the key to managing this solid waste is to apply segregation at source and implement the three R's: reduce, recycle, and reuse. So let us now discuss the reduce, recycle, and reuse, the three R's. Segregation. Solid waste can be grouped based on their ability to decompose. So the first one is the biodegradable waste. Biodegradable wastes are usually wet and organic, such as kitchen waste. Non-biodegradable wastes, on the other hand, are those that are usually dry, like plastics, paper, and glass. Segregating waste can help reduce the volume of waste generated in every homes and establishment, since some or most of the waste may still be recovered and be used for a different purposes. So the first one, we have the three R's, the segregate waste. The segregated waste may now be sorted for material that may still be used for a different purpose. Recycling is using the object again for a different purpose. Recycled material may be used in either its original form or may be converted to another form to be used as raw materials for different products. Some plastic products are manufactured from recycled plastics that have been turned into pellets. We have also the reuse. Reuse is using materials or objects for the same purpose, such as using the same eco bags or carrier bags every visit to the grocery store, or use jars to serve as pencil holders or containers for food items, or papers with print only on one side to become scratch papers for notes and etc. And last, we have the last R, reduction. Reduction, which does not necessarily happen during the phase of sorting. However, it is included in the general values taught in waste management. Source reduction is the practice of designing, manufacturing, purchasing, using, and reusing materials so that the amount of waste or its toxicity is reduced. In your purchasing decision, therefore, choose a product that has less packaging so that you do not generate much waste. Okay, so in addition, when we segregated waste, there is reduction of waste that reaches landfills and occupies the space. Air and water pollution rates are considerably reduced and makes it easier to apply different processes, such as the following: composting, recycling, incineration can be applied to different kind of waste. So if we don't segregate, The trash will increase to hazardous quantity, and it will cause land pollution, and it will make the soil toxic.